We are looking at LSAT Practice Test 80, Logic Games Section 3, questions 19 through 23. Game 4 is a transactions game. There are 3 actors: R, S, and T. We know that they own Class 1, 2, or 3 buildings. The rules are as follows. Rule 1. R owns G, which is a Class 1 building, Y, a Class 3, and Z, a Class 3. Rule 2. S owns F, a Class 1, and L, a Class 2. Rule 3. T owns K, a Class 2, M, a Class 2, and O, a Class 2. Rule 4. A transaction can consist of trading one building for another building of the same class. Rule 5. Or a transaction can consist of trading one Class 1 building for 2 Class 2 buildings. Rule 6. Or a transaction can consist of trading one Class 2 building for 2 Class 3 buildings. Now let's draw a diagram and make deductions. First, let's put a box around Y and Z because we know that they must always be traded together because there is no building worth 1 Class 3 building. Now, let's find all the possible sets of buildings that R can own. R doesn't have to trade any buildings, so R can have 1 Class 1 building and 2 Class 3 buildings. Or, R can trade 2 Class 3 buildings for 1 Class 2 building. Or, R can trade 1 Class 1 building for 2 Class 2 buildings. Or, R can trade 1 Class 1 building for 2 Class 2 buildings, and 2 Class 3 buildings for 1 Class 2 building. Second, let's find all the possible sets of buildings that S can own. S doesn't have to trade any buildings, so S can own 1 Class 1 building and 1 Class 2 building. Or, S can trade 1 Class 1 building for 2 Class 2 buildings. Or, S can trade 1 Class 1 building for 2 Class 2 buildings, and 1 Class 2 building for 2 Class 3 buildings. Finally, let's find all the possible sets of buildings that T can own. T doesn't have to trade any buildings, so T can have 3 Class 2 buildings. Or, T can trade 1 Class 2 building for 2 Class 3 buildings. Or, T can trade 2 Class 2 buildings for 1 Class 1 building. Now you are ready to answer the questions.